you're in the room and you're just waiting on the fraud police to come in. You're doing the job right, but there's a voice inside of your head telling you that you're not good enough. You're comparing your messy inside to their polished outside. We define true impact. Forget the quarterly check. From the mission statement to the corporate debt. You gotta lead with strategy. You gotta own your why. We're moving beyond the bottom line and reaching for the sky. We're moving beyond the bottom line with Dr. Lee. Welcome to Beyond the Bottom Line with Dr. Lee. I'm your host, Dr. Lee, and let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. You know the feeling. It's like you're in the room and you're just waiting on the fraud police to come in because you feel that you tricked them into hiring you. But let's face the facts. You have the job, you have the degree, you have the credentials, you have the knowledge and the know-how, but there's a voice inside of your head telling you that you're not good enough, that you don't bring enough value, that you're not worthy of the position that you're in. But today, we're going to dispel those thoughts. We're going to give strategies and practical insights on how to overcome imposter syndrome. In informatics, we call imposter syndrome a phantom error. It's sort of like phantom pain. Your body or the system is telling you that there is pain somewhere. But when we look at all of the metrics, the system is performing as it's supposed to. So let me tell you this. You're doing the job right. You're doing a great job. And let's go beyond the bottom line so that you can overcome imposter syndrome. Here's the data. It has been estimated that about 70% of high achievers deal with some form of imposter syndrome. If you're in corporate America, you feel that you're not smart enough to be in the C-suite. If you're in ministry, you feel like you're not holy enough to be in the pulpit. But why does this happen? I like to call it a data disparity. The thing is that you have access to your own back-end logs. You know that you Googled the answer 5 minutes before the meeting, but they don't know. You know that you went to the textbook to find the answer to that problem, but they don't know that. But here's what you know about them. You only see their front-end display. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes. So to you, they seem to be perfect. And there's a voice telling you that you're imperfect. But I beg to differ because, again, you only see their front end display. What if you saw in the back end that they Googled the same answer you did, or that they went to the textbook to find the same answer that you did? You're comparing your messy inside to their polished outside. And then when you do your data analysis, you're coming back to say, I am dirty and they're clean. You're saying, I'm broken and they're whole and complete. But that's not the case. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, is just figuring it out as they go. The CEO, the bishop, the founder. If they tell you that they have it all mapped out and that nothing has ever gone wrong, they're probably lying to you. We're all building a plane while trying to fly it. It doesn't mean that you're a fraud. It just makes you human. Let's dig deeper into the psychology of it. In data science, usually we know that the people who are the most confident usually know the least. We call it the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Low ability usually leads to high confidence because they don't know enough to be scared. But the inverse is also true. High ability often leads to lower confidence. Why? because you know how complex the system is. You know how much you don't know. Your doubt is actually proof of your competence. If you were incompetent, you'd probably be arrogant. You wouldn't even think about it. But the fact that you're asking, am I good enough? Is a good indication that you really are. Let's look at it from the spiritual side. Moses had imposter syndrome. He said, I can't speak. Gideon had imposter syndrome. Gideon said, my clan is the weakest. Jeremiah had imposter syndrome. Jeremiah said, I'm only a child. It seems that feeling unqualified is actually a prerequisite for the job. Why? Because you stop relying on the source when you feel that you've got it all in a bag, when you feel that you have nothing to worry about because you got it all together. But your inadequacy or your perception of inadequacy is actually a portal for grace. So, how do we shut down the voice? How do we authenticate our identity? We need an authentication protocol. One, audit the evidence. Two, reframe the fear. And three, the who sent you check. Protocol one, audit the evidence. Why don't you take a moment and write down all of the facts? The facts are that you earned a degree. The facts are that you've had several successful projects that you've undertaken and succeeded at. You've done well. You didn't fool people into getting where you are today. You did the work. You deserve the seat at the table. Protocol 2, reframe the fear. Stop trying to be fearless. It's actually fear that's telling you that the stakes are high. Instead, reframe it. Ask yourself, am I really afraid or am I just learning? Admitting that you're a learner doesn't make you an imposter. It makes you a student. And as you continue to learn, as you continue to grow, you get more and more experiences, and then that increases your confidence level. Protocol 3, the who sent you check. This is for my mission driven people. Take a moment and ask yourself, did you assign yourself this role? Or are you called? Did you just up and decide that you wanted to do ABC? Or were your steps ordered by the Lord? If the board hired you, trust their selection. If God called you, trust his election. Stop trying to prove that you belong. The badge is already on your chest. The keys are already in your hand. Just do the job. Let me show you what happens when a major company systematically addresses imposter syndrome. In 2014, Facebook, which is now known as Meta, discovered through internal surveys that 58% of their leaders reported feeling like a fraud in their new positions as supervisors. These were not just random people that signed up and said, I want to be a supervisor. These were actually high achievers that had been promoted from within. And now, after the promotion, they reported feeling like frauds. Facebook realized that this was not just a personal problem, but it was a business problem. Paralyzed managers meant slower innovation. Paralyzed managers also meant decreased team efficiency. So they launched Managing at Meta, a new program that was designed to address imposter syndrome among new managers. But here's what made it revolutionary. It didn't just address the symptoms, but it addressed the root cause. They actually implemented something called failure parties. So on Fridays, they would have a sit down between senior leaders and directors and new managers, and they would discuss their biggest failures and how they overcame them. It sent a message, a strong message to the new managers that everyone fails, but it's not about how you fall, it's about how you recover. Second, they implemented backend sharing. This was peer mentoring groups where managers could come together and discuss their real challenges, their doubts, and their fears in a safe space. No more judging their outside and comparing it to your inside. Here are the results from managing at Meta. A 34% increase in self-reported leadership confidence, a 28% faster strategic decision making, 22% improvement in team productivity scores, 40% higher retention rate among new managers. But here's the most important result. Managers and leaders stopped avoiding difficult conversations and started making bolder decisions. Once you realize that everyone is figuring it out as they go, you give yourself grace and space to grow. You also give yourself permission to lead while you learn. The authentication protocol works, but it works better when the whole system supports it. We're headed into the nightcap. This is the heaviest burden that leaders seem to carry, feeling small in a large chair. But let me tell you something. The chair that you're sitting in, you belong there. The table that you're sitting at, you belong there. The desk that you have, the boardrooms that you're present in, you are supposed to be there. It was by design that you were selected, that you were appointed, that you were called. You bring a specific frequency that that area needs. The area will never be the same once you leave because you're leaving legacy. You're making an impact. And don't allow imposter syndrome to rob you of your rightful position. You've got to lead with strategy. You've got to own your why. Part of owning your why is knowing that you're the right vessel for the position, the right person to fulfill the mission. Now let's take off the mask. You don't need it. You are enough.